to Feed Dump, where it's early spring somewhere. It was actually a very late spring here, but we are all things that are now emerging thanks to spring. I am dog turds peeking out of snowdrifts in your front yards. Yes, you thought I was long forgotten, but no, I am there playing mute, poopy witness to misdeeds of Christmases past. Joining me this week is cherry blossoms.
Heaven for the eyes and hell for the mucous membranes.
And methane pockets in the Arctic.
Luckily, it's odorless.
New Zealand is on the brink of civil war after its Prime Minister, Bill English, posted a picture of himself making homemade pizzas. Homemade pizzas topped with canned spaghetti. And ham and pineapple, but mostly just the canned spaghetti. Half of New Zealand is like, you are an abomination and should be impeached. And the other half is like, too right, mate, reminds me of my childhood. What the F?
Pizza and ham and pineapple are good, and spaghetti and ham are good. Spaghetti and pineapple, I could almost see. I'm trying to imagine the Venn diagram of this meal, and he's just created the Venn diagram of this meal.
Oh yeah, I think Roland Barthes covered this in his essay on postmodernism, where he was discussing the map and the territory becoming No, just thought about it.
Or we could take the McLuhanist point of view of this, saying that the medium is some sort of blended starch and tomatoes, meaning the message is stay away from New Zealand.
In his defense, New Zealand Prime Minister Bill English has said, hey, tin spaghetti on pizza was totally popular in the 80s and 90s, which I don't recall this ever happening. And in his further defense, people in New Zealand eat weird shit. Do you know what a toasty is? It's basically like a pressed sandwich. You could get like a toasted sandwich maker that like sandwiches two pieces of bread together and like seals it. Then there's like molten goo on the inside. You make like a savory Pop-Tart. Somebody was like, hey, yeah, that looks great. Look at this tin spaghetti toasty I made. I just posted a picture of that on Twitter, and that's not okay.
Just because something was popular in the 80s and 90s doesn't mean they were good ideas. Take Crystal Pepsi, Reaganomics, the Garbage Pail Kids,
Bon Jovi, indoor smoking, the constant specter of global thermonuclear war.
Leaded gasoline, the inexplicable solo career of Phil Collins, that noise that Tim Allen made on Home Improvement. There were some poor choices being made then.
I mean, the leaded gasoline does explain almost all of those.
A city sewer pipe that had become intractably clogged with used condoms led police in Texas to raid a massage parlor and arrest 2 people for prostitution.
Wait a minute, how are they getting them to the toilet in the first place? Usually when you go to a massage parlor, there's no toilet in the room. That means they had to be carried. Or collected.
Yes, the pitter-patter plopping noise of used condoms as they are drained from a bucket marked filled into the toilet.
So why not just operate as a brothel to begin with? They have the infrastructure to take care of this sort of thing from the beginning.
Because it's illegal to operate a brothel in Texas.
Wait, what about that musical?
Ooh, I must have dozed off during that part of Oklahoma.
Now we're just circling back to things that were inexplicably popular in the 80s. For your reference, Feed Dump viewers, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas is a movie that came out in 1982, starred Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds, and was not good, but did receive an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Also, it's impossible to doze off during Oklahoma. I should know I tried. I was considering clubbing myself into unconsciousness with a bottle of novelty sarsaparilla. It sucks. Oklahoma sucks. And it's loud.
Connecticut police arrested a man wearing a shirt that said, "Hold my beer and watch this," after he drove drunk and crashed into a cemetery.
A very important question we need to get out of the way first. Who held his beer?
Well, I assume sequentially, his stomach, then his bladder, then the footwell of his car.
Rarely do we see an idea progress so quickly from novelty t-shirts sold out of pickup truck behind mall to reality and then to Feed Dump story.
I mean, he crashed into a cemetery. I can't tell if this is an anti-drunk driving commercial or a sketch starring Leslie Nielsen.
How come we can't get more well-meaning t-shirts that are sold out of the back of a truck, like, I make good life decisions, or I'm progressing well in my job, or girls gone fishing?
Wait, fission? Like F-I-S-S-I-O-N? Because I'm pretty sure that's already a subreddit, dude.
Is that one of those 18 plus subreddits?
Probably both versions of it. I mean, you can find a subreddit for anything. You could roll your face back and forth across a keyboard and find a subreddit about rolling your face back and forth across a keyboard.
There's probably competing rolling your face back and forth across a keyboard subreddits, one of which is a fan of like the traditional clicky keyboards and the other of which is right.
Actually, I believe you'll find that the schism in the face-rolling keyboard subreddits is due to QWERTY and Dvorak orthodoxies.
Doesn't anyone care about Colmac anymore?
Heretic!
Still can't believe that you use those
do
blue-green
Okay, well, on this note, I'm calling this episode of Feed Dump to a close. Because while there may be better sources of news, they don't have very strong opinions on keyboards. They don't have Cameron and Ian, and they don't have this hat, which is actually a tiara
So desirable in
that our camera person Heather made. I'm a pretty princess. I like keyboards. I don't even mind clicky keyboards. I just think they're loud and I can hear it at night when I'm trying to sleep. I don't want it in my bedroom. These people have a lot of opinions. Christ, they're still talking! They're still talking! Feed Dump out!
Wait, the Prime Minister of New Zealand prepares his own food?
He may be preparing it himself, but this is definitely something I remember from the Bush II era White House kitchen.